Yo, what's up, my friends? This is Dave Wood, and I've not been around for the last week at all because I was actually over on a family vacation, and I put a message up that I was going to like sell a course or something, and then I was just like, I'm not going to do that on my family vacation. I'll do that when I get home from the vacation. And so, in any case, I get home and I'm sitting here thinking about, I want to go put up a positive message about my family, which I will now do later. Okay. Because I just had something pop in my Facebook feed, work thing before on my blog, and people. It is best to actually kind of not pay attention to this stuff all day. Okay, and this is the thing I want to get across. Okay, because I want to give a really positive message. I had a great week. I had a week off. I took no videos. I made no videos the whole week, except for I think like one or two private videos for my wife, and that's it. And then I just let my family make the videos. I didn't even use a camera. I was just sitting there like with my family doing meditation and prayer and all sorts of amazing positive energy, which there's videos of, on all my family's walls and everything like that of all the family getting together and doing things. And the only part of the family that wasn't there was the most important part of the family, in my opinion, which is the one that's not there, which is my wife, Priscilla, and so she wasn't there, and the kids and Priscilla, I pray that you'll be there the next time, or that we'll just do over and go backwards in time and do it again. Okay. So now I got to go on and tell you what just happened. So I see this, I'm sitting there in my Facebook feed, and I'm minding my own business. And then I see this law, and this is essentially, it's forcing, I cannot even believe if any Democrats would get behind something like this. Like I cannot even fathom the mental retardation, okay, of passing a bill that allows abortions to happen in the 9.5 months all the way up until the time of birth. I can't even understand it. Like, I haven't seen my son for over a year, and I've literally wept every single day, all year long, sometimes for hours, okay, wanting to see my son. And I understand that maybe I could have done this or I could have done that different or whatever, right? But I've wanted to see my son every single day of the year, okay? And the reality is that I haven't, and that has caused me great amounts of pain. I cannot even imagine why a woman or why a man would be pregnant with a child, with a gift from God, right? And want to do anything but let that child live. So I want to explain to you what's in this article, because I can't even read it. Okay? Like I can't even read it. Because I would have done the same thing that this person did in the article, okay? Because the person who wrote the article said he saw this happen, and he was like, I was about ready to throw up. But if I saw this happen, that doctor would have gotten a broken jaw right there. I wouldn't have cared if I would have gone to prison for it. Okay? That'd been a hard enough punch to where that'd be the last abortion he'd ever do. You say, well, wait a second here. He's just doing his work. Oh, no. We got to stop with this bullcrap. Okay? If the people don't turn against wickedness, and if the people don't turn against nonsense, there's not going to be any people left. Right? This is where the elite have been wanting to go for a long time. Right? If we don't stand up to the central bankers and stuff that they're doing in society that's wrong together in a way that's constructive, that actually won't hurt them, in a way that creates peace between them and us, right? We're not going to have an economy. So this person's sitting there, and they see a baby's coming out of the womb. His feet are moving. And a doctor takes a pair of scissors, and he slammed it into the area in the neck, and then sucked out its brains right in front of somebody. Like, the first day of being alive, coming to say hello to the universe from heaven. And a great greeting from man, isn't it? I don't want to focus on the negative stuff, okay? Because I just had a fantastic week, and I'm probably going to go sing for half an hour after I even make this video. I'm so mad right now, right? Here's what's going to happen to the state of Illinois if they don't repent, which means change. You're not going to like it. That crap's going to happen to them, is what's going to happen. From who? Twice. What happened? Hello? Look, what happened to the righteous land of Illinois? Where'd it go? I have always heard of Illinois being a good place. I did an event one time in Chicago. It was my favorite event we ever did. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of reasons that was my favorite one. And I really loved it. And when I went there, it was flooded. Okay? But a flood of wickedness coming in a land is not an excuse for the people to hide and cower in fear to abominations right in front of them. Look, I'm going to tell you for a moment what's going to happen to places that are like this, that do stuff like this. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Understand, I'm just telling you. I'm not involved with it. I don't care to be close to it. I'm telling you the wickedness on both sides. But when you sow wickedness, you reap wickedness. When you sow righteousness, you reap righteousness. Their worst nightmares, the worst nightmares of the state of Illinois, will happen before them on the streets. All the worst ones. You say, well, why? It's not our fault. We didn't do anything. Those were the senators that did it. Those were the central bankers that did it. Oh, it's the Russians' fault. Oh, it's the United States' fault. Oh, it's the economy's fault. Oh, I'm just sitting here in Illinois doing my thing. And, I just saw this on the news. I mean, I didn't have anything to do with it. Nonsense. We all have something to do with it. Allowing murder to happen is one thing. Okay? But the people that allow this to happen, this is like you got like, okay, the murder, and you got like this problem. Because these are kids. Right? Yeah, I've seen all sorts of people posting stuff on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. I've seen all sorts of people posting stuff about this stuff there. Right? And we got to fight for the rights of women. It's their bodies. Okay. That's like I could just go punch anybody in the nose that I want, and I'm fighting for the rights of my skin because, hey, it's my skin. It can do what it wants to. It's the same thing. It's actually the same thing. Or, let's just all go get swords and start attacking people with the swords. Oh, it's my blade. It can do what it wants to. That's like, oh, yeah, let the government just go and blow up who they want to blow up and not have any of the people say anything. Okay, that's our airplanes. We can do what we want to. No, we can't. No, they can't. And no, we can't allow that. When we allow ourselves and our nation to be walked on right in front of us. I mean, this is like right in front of us. And we're like, oh, I'm going to let this get walked on right in front of me. Right? And I encourage you to share this with some people, right? Then what happens? Then the land's angry. God gets angry. You say, God, I don't believe in an angry God. Well, maybe if you were in the sky seeing one of your children get hacked apart by a doctor who takes an protect at all costs life, right? Maybe you'd be pissed off too if you were a righteous man. Oh, I like believing in a God with no emotions who just sits there and he's like peace and love, even though you're hurting my kids. Guys, ladies, no. This is not the way. These are kids. I'll tell you what should happen. What should happen is going to happen, which is all the worst things that you could possibly imagine, is what should actually happen in the state of Illinois if they don't change. Really, to anyone involved in making that law pass. And everyone who fought against it, they shouldn't happen to those people. That's what should happen. I mean, you've got, let me explain here. Let me explain for a second what problems are coming. I was just reading another article, okay, and that's Israeli jets just struck the hell out of Iran and Hezbollah in Syria in response to a missile attack. So they sent this missile attack. Then Jerusalem, I'll tell you what they did. They struck back. A lot of people would criticize Israel. I see the nations of the earth right now on the news turning against Israel, just like I was been prophesying about on my blog a little bit ago, and just like the prophesy about in the Bible. And I explained how this was going to happen on my blog. A long time ago, I explained this. Okay? I've explained this stuff for a long time. Maybe I should spend more time giving prophecies and stuff. That might actually be really useful for all of you. Right? But I got to be more careful with the stuff when I'm talking about the future and things like that. I need to be super careful about those things. Right? The reality is this, okay? You got all these very radical religious people. Now, I'm not talking about radical in all senses bad. Some of them are bad. Like I disagree with the way that radical Islam, for example, is utilized. You say, what do you mean utilize? We don't utilize them. That's actually the problem. Because you got this group of people that wants to protect the teachings of Allah and wants to protect the teachings of their higher power. And we do nothing but criticize them. And instead of that, I just go stick them on our enemies. They give us some fantastic advice about how to take our enemies out. I'll tell you that. Right? We say, hey, look, you repent and you come and tell us, who you are. So, we're not going to ask you to turn in your buddies. You just come tell us who you are. And then when we need your help, we're going to call on you to go against our enemies. Our problem all of a sudden with them just goes away. Like that fast. Like it's actually not a very complex problem at all to get rid of the problem of radical Islam. Because you don't want to get rid of it. Getting rid of it is like getting rid of that. You just redirect it towards something else, and all of a sudden, we're their best friend. But I'll tell you, what I know about is I know that there's a lot of people in radical Islam in the state of Illinois. And guess what they don't like? They don't like this crap. I read a long time ago something in the Book of Mormon. Actually, this is right in the beginning of the Book of Mormon. People criticize the Book of Mormon for this. Because it's right at the beginning, and there's this point where there's a guy that dies, Laban. And it says this, it says it's better that one man should perish than that a nation should dwindle and perish in unbelief. That's what it says right at the and then Nephi cuts off the head of Laban. All right? You say, oh, that sounds like something radical. No. God knows the future, and God's saving millions of people in the future from that one decision. He knows what he's doing. But I'll tell you what the problem is in the state of Illinois. The problem is that they don't got somebody, or maybe not enough of them. They don't got enough Nephis. Somebody needs to cut off the head of the dragon for the dragon to go away sometimes. If the dragon keeps coming and blowing fire on all the women and children in the land, well, then maybe we need to get rid of that dragon. You know, I'm sure there's plenty more nice ones out there, and the nice ones can go be nice. Or maybe the dragons are just there for karma. You never know. But the reality is this. For people engaging in this nonsense, this bull honky, I can't even call it that. I can't even call it. I don't even have a name for it. It would be better that a millstone was hung about their necks and that they were cast into the sea. In fact, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just take all the people engaging on all sides, all the men. How about we do all the men engaged in this ritualistic slaughter of newborn babies, which is what it is. And why don't we you say, all right, let's tie a millstone about your neck. Let's make sure you can't die, first of all, for 1,000 years. Then we're going to toss you into the sea, and you can spend the next 1,000 years at the bottom of the sea, if you want to do. The reality is that those are children. So, for example, let me give you some examples in the Quran. The Quran protects the sanctity of life. And why do I talk about that? Because they're very specific about it, right? And Buddha, what does Buddha say? He says, we protect the sanctity of life. So in the Quran, the only time an abortion, and it's not even in the Quran really, this is, I think, from the teachings of Muhammad or whatever, this is interpretations, but the only time an abortion would ever be allowed would be if the mother would die, for sure, if she had that child. Let's say the mother has other kids. In that case, because she has other kids to take care of, the lesser of the two evils would be, in that case, the child. Right? The only time it's allowed. The Islamic Church will kick you out. The Mormon Church will kick you out. The Buddhist communities will also kick out monks. So will all the other faiths and the great spiritual teachers of the world. Anybody with enlightened energy will do that. They'll say, get out. Doesn't matter the reason. Oh, well, this person had this happen or that person had this happen. Okay, so this person over there had something bad happen to him. So then we're going to go out with an excuse to allow all of society to get rid of the most important gift to humanity that's ever existed, which is children. So in any case, this is my opinion. I'll just tell you. My opinion that if we don't change, like, for example, Planned Parenthood, right? And I haven't even looked at it long enough to see what it is anymore, to be honest with you, because I don't want to pay any attention to it. It could change in a lot of ways. Actually, teaching people how to have plan and have children, that should be a much better use of that thing. You know what I mean? And teaching people the repercussions of society if they try to get rid of a baby, that would be a positive thing, right? I'll tell you, if that thing doesn't change, that thing should be utterly abolished from off the face of the earth. And it's not going to happen in a peaceful way. I'd prefer that it happened like that. I'd prefer that something like happened like the president just got up and disbanded it. Let's get them all out. I got a little connection. There we go. My connection's back. That thing should be disbanded and broken apart. And the government should protect the sanctity of life. This is the only thing government should actually do in cases of abortion, is actually protect the sanctity of life. What's that mean? That means destroying from off the face of the earth anything that allows abortion. eliminate it, wipe it out. On Tuesday, we will send a missile to that building because they're knocking off, they're sucking out the brains of little babies that are protected by the Constitution of the United States of America. Right now, obviously, the states have rights and stuff, so there's a balance here. The government shouldn't do that. The government, you know, maybe they'll defend them as radical Islam are taking them out. Maybe that's what'll happen. I'll tell you, those places, really good question. Perhaps what America needs to wake up is you working together to actually create some kind of change, like that matters, which is not an abortion bill with a million stipulations. It would be a fantastic abortion bill. Abortion is not allowed for any reason, period, because we protect the sanctity of life and the posterity and all the children that are here for future generations. That'd be a fantastic. I'll sign. And then we could describe what's going to happen to all the men that are involved if an abortion is attempted. And then protect the women. That would be fun. That's my version of it. That'd be a fantastic bill, wouldn't it? I mean, I'd sign that one. I'd be like, I'm in. We're protecting the women. Off with the men's heads. Down with me. Look. You say, Dave, that's scaring people. Look at what this happening.